Welcome to Age of Empires 4 Player Spotlight, where myself, Mioasis, will be interviewing the pro players and known community members. In this episode, we'll try to get to know one of the Canadian pros, Wam. Let's start with the interview. Hello, Wam, and welcome to the AoE Player Spotlight. I'm super happy to have you here, and I'm excited to ask you some questions today. Could you please introduce yourself shortly?
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, obviously. But I am Wam01, professional Age of Empires 4 player, and yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Let's start from the beginning. Should we start with a bit of a childhood background? When did you start playing games?
Oh, a long time ago, actually. It's hard to really pinpoint an exact point, but I've been playing games when ever since I was young, actually. Like the first time I even got, actually a GameCube was like my first like real experience playing games with my brothers, obviously. I have an older brother and a younger brother, but I've always been very competitive, so gaming has kind of focused my competitiveness, and I've really enjoyed it. So I would say probably 8 or 9 would be the time.
Okay. And do you remember what games you played first?
We would rent GameCube games from like a nearby store. So I think probably like Hot Wheel games, like really anything we could get our hands on. If you're talking about like computer games, my first game would be probably Stronghold, so an RTS game.
Okay, yeah, I know that game. Good choice. Nice, great. Do you remember when you got your first computer?
So me and my brother Puppy Paw, we shared a computer for about a year or two, and I think this was grade 8, no, probably grade 7, I think. So we shared a computer for about a year or two, just in elementary school. And yeah, that's definitely when we had our first computer. So that was an interesting time when we were sharing our computer. So
Yeah, I
that was our
bet.
first. Yeah.
Was there any fights for whose turn is it?
I think there was, but it's hard to remember exactly how often that was.
No worries. Can you tell me a bit about the origins of your name? Where did it come from?
Yeah, so my name Wham is initials for Mozart, and it just came from my dad, really. He's sort of a Mozart fan, I guess. However much of a fan you can be of Mozart, but he really enjoys Mozart. So, um, and obviously he was helping us set up our gaming, and like because we were younger, so he was helping us with that, and he kind of recommended the name Wham. So I like the name. I think it's kind of cool, and the initials kind of provide more of a backstory as well. So that's the origin of it.
Interesting. Have you ever used any other nicknames or did you just stuck with that since forever?
I've used other nicknames here or there, but nothing really sticked as well as Wham did. So generally, most of the time, I kind of just use Wham over and over again now.
Okay, fair enough. Um, and can you tell us if you play any other games, either competitively or just casually at the moment?
At the moment, I'm not really doing anything other than Age of Empires 4 game-wise. But I do like I definitely play games here and there. TFT, for example, World of Warcraft, some Civilization games. But at the moment, just Age of Empires 4.
Nice. Yeah, I guess you have to focus a lot of your time on that right at the top
Yeah, for sure.
of the ranks. And you did say you play WoW every now and then. Is it classic or retail?
So I got into WoW in high school, which was it's actually kind of interesting because I've really played classic for the most part, but I was doing it on private servers before the game actually came out, which was actually a lot of fun. So yeah, classic is kind of more what I enjoy.
And your class?
Mage, actually.
Okay.
I'm a really big mage fan, so
Do you usually pick like magic classes in other games if you can as well?
yeah, I'm pretty consistent with playing magic classes. Yeah,
Okay,
like I've
sounds
played
good.
like Ziggs and League of Legends and stuff, so all the
Nice.
magic.
And can you tell us what do you like doing apart from gaming? What do you do to chill?
So I live in Canada, and we actually so there's a lot of downsides to living in Canada, but there's some upsides. And going out and like we have a forest nearby, and I love like taking my dogs for walks. I love just walking in general. Getting outside is enjoyable. But I mean, besides that, I would say I do enjoy like looking at the financial markets and stuff like that, but nothing too heavy, I would say. So a bit of everything.
Nice, sounds good. And what about your dogs? Can you tell us a bit more about them?
So my dogs, yeah, I got them like 10 years ago now. So they're kind of old, but we have two miniature Australian Shepherds.
Mm-hmm.
They have so much energy. It's hard to keep up with them actually. I don't know if you have dogs in particular, but um, when you have two of them, especially, they feed off of each other's energy. So
Yeah, definitely. Um, so even though they are 10, they're still full of it.
yeah,
That's good to hear. To be fair, I had dogs in the past. At the moment, I have three cats. So yeah, it's
yeah.
chaos when they all start running. So I can relate. um, what about your dream holiday destination?
That's a tough one actually, because I I really enjoy Europe. I've been to Greece, and that I had a wonderful vacation in Greece when I was younger with my parents. So it's a beautiful country. I'd really love to go there again. Europe is just amazing in general, so I really do like Europe, but I think because I haven't been to Asia, I would really like to go to Asia at some point. Maybe Japan or China. I think that would be really cool.
Sounds good. I bet going to Europe is a quite of a trip for you. How long is it by plane,
Like
roughly?
7 hours, I would say, is average. Maybe like nine, I guess, if you're going to Germany. Somewhere in that region, I think.
Okay, well, we know um, as a fact that you have a chance to visit Europe again this year. Congrats on joining the LAN in Copenhagen. Are you excited?
Yeah, thanks. I'm always excited to go to Europe, meet new people, meet old people. It's gonna be so much fun. So definitely excited. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I have a bit of a different question for you now. Trying to get more into the AoE questions. Did you always want to go pro as a player, or did it kind of happen by accident?
Uh, it's a good question. I never. It's nothing I ever really thought about. It was just kind of a good timing after finishing university, and I've like I mentioned, I've been playing RTSs for quite a while, so it was a genre I was already extremely familiar with, having played Age of Empires 3 as well. So I got good pretty quick, and then I had like some time off, and I got better. So it just kind of worked good for me. It's not really something I thought about too much at all.
Okay. And what are your plans for the future with it? Do you Are you just playing by ear? Have you got any plans? Are you looking to maybe expand or change your career a little bit?
I mean, I'm looking to expand, but I don't see myself stopping playing Age of Empires 4 unless I don't know, there's like less interest in the game or something. But I've really been enjoying my time. There is something nice to be able to stay and compete in the game as long as you put the time and practice into it. It's very rewarding in that sense.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
while I do look for other things, I'm really happy playing Age of Empires 4.
And why Age of Empires 4 out of any games currently?
I mean, the easiest answer I think is just because I'm good at Age of Empires 4, but it's one of the games I think in general that you never stop learning, which is it's difficult in the sense that you need to always be playing the game, but
Yeah.
if you are always playing the game, you can stay really good because I think it just requires a lot of commitment that some people maybe either don't want to or can't commit to time wise. So I think my knowledge of the game makes it a lot easier.
And do you think anyone could get to your level, or is there definitely some talent involved in it?
I mean, there's some talent for sure, but I think it's a tough question because I really don't know. I think generally most people could probably get to a very high level if you put the time in because I mean, just like other things, I think it's just about time commitment.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a little bit of talent there for sure because I have been playing the game for just OTSs for like 10 years, and I've picked up on things that it would take other people quite a while to pick up on, I think.
That's a good point. And also wanted to ask about coaching. Have you ever thought about offering it, or not really your kind of a thing?
Well, I mean, I have offered coaching before, and I do think I mean, I think coaching is I do like coaching. It's just that I think it is kind of a skill that you pick up, just like any other thing. So I'm a little hesitant to delve a little bit deeper into that because there are a lot of coaches in the game, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
Voldemort coaches, Donati coaches, a friend of mine, Papala's coaches, and we like I want to offer something that they don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's something I've thought about. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I'm gonna lean into it, but it's an interesting idea.
Okay. And do you have your own coach, or do you just analyze your games by yourself, really, with maybe help of your brother?
That's a good question actually, because I think it's important to not have not maybe not have your own coach, but have somebody to talk about the games with, right? So that in that way you can kind of coach each other in a sense. But yeah, I guess me and my brother are our own coaches in that sense. So mostly just him.
Okay. And talking of your brother, I have a question here for you of how does it kind of feel like competing at such a high level with your own brother?
I mean, 80-90% of the time it's a good thing, right? You got to talk about the games. You got to talk about you know, well, you got to do things together, play tournaments together, and then there's the other 10% where it's like, now I have to play against them in tournament, like only one of us can win, kind of thing, and something that you're not really looking forward to. But 90% good, 10% bad.
Okay, fair enough. It's definitely um, not many players have this uh, kind of situation as you two, so it's definitely a unique experience, which definitely must work out to your favor as well. You basically have
Yeah,
a sparring partner all the time, right?
yeah, and this is probably like during like tournaments, right? I'm not
Hmm.
practicing as much if there's not like an active tournament going on.
Okay, fair enough. And do you watch all your replays only the feeds? Wins? Do you think there is any point watching wins as well?
I mean, I watch most of them. I'd say it really depends on the matchup and yeah, if I lost or won. But most of them, but it really does depend on the matchup. Like if there's a matchup I feel comfortable with, and I either know why that happens in the game, then I'm like, okay, this isn't worth watching. Maybe I'll focus on something else. But most of them, I'd say, for a general answer, most of them.
Okay, fair enough. And what is your favorite tournament format?
Hmm. I really do like the Elite Classic. The format where you play against like everybody in your group is really enjoyable, and I think having most land maps is a good format as well for the map pool.
Mm-hmm.
I really like seeing as many Civ matchups as possible. And I think generally you're going to get more Civ matchups on land maps than you're on hybrid maps. So I would say the Elite Classic, in my opinion, is probably my most enjoyable tournament format.
Definitely, it's great to watch as well. And talking of tournaments, we are seeing you kind of in a lot of them at the moment. You're in the KPMMs and all the LAN qualies, the EGC stuff. Do you have any priorities or do you try to join as many as possible?
I mean, I definitely have priorities, pretty much just like which one's the biggest, which ones do I want to go to the most, right? And I think I did practice quite a bit for the WAN qualifiers, because obviously I want to go to Denmark and have a good time there. Um, Regarding KPPM, I do, well, I wouldn't say I really practice for them, but a lot of the maps are the same maps that are in other big tournaments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kawasan, I think, for example, Full Lakes as well. So I sort of actually use KPMM more of a as like a practice tournament for other tournaments than practice for it specifically.
Okay, so you just been winning them recently, but not really practicing, just chilling on the KPMMs.
Yeah, I would say probably for the most part other people do that as well, so it's not super special, but yeah.
I guess it's good to get the opportunity to play against other pros in the. And what about your proudest win in the tournament? Do you remember a specific game or a series?
That's a good question actually. I do have some moments that I'm sort of proud of, but they're not like big moments or anything in general. I really I remember playing against Rusifron in to qualify for Red Bull 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like 2.5 years ago. And man, it's tough because it's hard to describe a situation that you're probably not familiar with, but qualifying for that event by beating Rusifron, I felt like I played very, very well. And
Mm-hmm.
when you play very, very well for a really, really big tournament, or because this was a $300,000 tournament, um, yeah, it was a good moment to win and qualify for that tournament at that time.
Nice. I haven't been following back in 2022. I have heard of Lucifer. He kind of comes and goes, but
Yeah,
definitely a really good player to beat. So
no,
congrats.
I mean, he was really good at that time too. So he got top four in that tournament. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. And what about a biggest fail in a game you remember?
I mean, probably Age of Empires 4 again, but it's not something I generally. But actually, probably 2022 as well. I think I lost to Demu 3-0 in one of the qualifiers, or maybe, yeah, I think it was Demu 4-0 maybe. And after something like that, you have to kind of be like,
Did you have to walk it off?
yeah, you definitely have to walk it off. I mean, you put in your back of your mind for sure, because you have to win next time, right?
Mm-hmm. And have you beaten Demu since then in a
Oh,
series?
me and Demu, yeah, for sure. Me and Demu go back and forth pretty regularly, which is fun. I have a good matchup with him.
Definitely. And do you have someone in mind at the moment who is your biggest nemesis on the tournaments?
Hmm. Um. Probably Puppy Paw, I guess. I don't feel like I've been doing too well against him recently. I think Marine World BC generally they're a little favored versus me, and same with Puppy Paw, but I don't know, I just don't feel like I can he's too good for me right now.
You can do this. I believe in you.
Maybe.
um, and have you got someone who is your biggest inspiration regarding the competitive scene of AoE or maybe even other game?
Hmm. It's an interesting question. Actually, I do think how good William T has gotten recently, and I think it's purely based on just like a lot of practicing and a lot of like effort and work into the game. So I mean, he has been it has been inspired me to get like better and better recently. So I would say for now, I think he's been a really good inspiration for me.
Yeah, he has been shining recently everywhere. He kind of came out of nowhere. Obviously, he was also competing last year. But actually, it would be interesting to get your opinion. What is your opinion about the recent Chinese um, players, which just seem to be dominating?
Yeah, well, I mean, they've always been really good, right? I think recently they've probably just focused a lot more on like 1v1 in tournaments and stuff because I mean William T particularly, I think since like last year maybe he's been focusing on customs and like just really focusing on practicing. Whereas before I think he was doing more team games and more just like having fun and kind of stuff like that. So, and I think CSO kind of has started to do that as well. So they are really, really good, but I think they also obviously just work very hard as well.
Hmm. Definitely. I know a lot of sport players have that. But what about esport? Have you got like a pre-tournament ritual or anything like that?
Yeah, so generally the tournaments I play, I wake up not like super early, but like 9 a.m., which is a little bit early for me.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if I'm gonna play tournament games. So generally, what I do is I just have like tea and I just go outside a bit and just have like vegetables and stuff, and it calms me down a little bit. So nothing too fancy, but that's generally what I do.
Okay, interesting. Do you get a bit nervous before tournaments, or have you done so many already that it doesn't really bother you?
Honestly, I don't get that nervous these days anymore. So I think I've kind of adjusted. Like as long as I'm doing like I guess like my morning ritual, I guess. I kind of get into that tournament mood more often. I'm just like I chill a bit more.
Okay, that's good. I would definitely be super nervous. um, and what about the current state of the game? Are you happy with it? Is there something with which bothers you? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm overall happy with the game. I think we could see some more investments from like into a DLC. Like I know we just had one, but it was kind of small and kind of lacked
Mm-hmm.
some quality of life changes, I would say. But we are gonna have one at the end of the year, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think happy with it at the moment, but I would really like to see new food types, maybe a new server too. I think there's a lot more that can be done. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. I do also think that the devs could do so much more. Um, hopefully, they will. Is there
Yeah.
anything in your mind if you could change one thing right now? Um, what would you change?
I mean, I don't like the way the sheep is. I really
Mm-hmm.
don't. I think it's very RNG. I think if I had to change one thing that's in the game currently, I would change the way sheep is. But if I could add something to the game, it would be more food sources. That's my answer.
Okay, and what's your opinion about the current deer pushing meta?
That's an interesting one. I think people, I think it's actually a lot of like divisiveness. Like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people really hate it. But I don't care too much about it. Like I'm not a huge fan actually, especially with the spearman. I think that there's not a lot of counterplay to it. Um, but I don't think it's super bad or anything. I would nerf it a little bit, the effectiveness of it, but I wouldn't take it away if I
Okay.
had power.
Do you like it more than the Pro Scout meta we had in the last season?
Yeah, I think I like it better than the Pro Scout meta. Yeah, the Pro Scout meta was not my most enjoyable meta I've ever had. That's for sure.
A lot of people said that, so it's interesting to know. But yeah, definitely the sheep can be a bit unlucky sometimes. Um,
Yeah.
and talking about AoE potential, what do you think devs could do to make the game a bit more popular, in your opinion?
I mean, there's a lot they can do. I think. I mean, I'm not sure if they have like the resources or the power to do this, but I would really like to see there's like a tick rate in the game. Like, I'd love to see them work on the engine a little bit to make things a little bit faster and stuff like that. I think there is some slowness in the game in that regard. And I think if they could fix that, that would be huge um, into getting like more StarCraft 2 players, for example, because I've played StarCraft 2 and there is a noticeable difference in like in that like small lag. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that would, if they could fix that, that'd be a really impactful thing for more RTS players in general.
Okay. And what's your current favorite civ?
Current favorite civ, there's a lot of civs I've been enjoying at the moment, but let me see.
Maybe let's
Oh,
do
okay.
top three.
Okay. I've actually I know this is kind of disgusting, but I've really been enjoying House of Lancaster.
Me
Like they're just
too.
so much fun for me.
I've been playing your build order and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they're just they're abusive, but as long as I'm not playing against it, they're fun. You know?
Yeah, I think they're great. And actually, there's few ways of playing them. I think people thought they're quite one dimensional. Obviously, I don't understand the Civ as much as you and other players would, but there's like few fun ways to play them, definitely.
No, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of fun ways to play them actually, which is I mean it just adds to the complexity of the Civ. And no, I really enjoy them, and I think they're a bit strong because you can do everything, but that's what makes them fun, you know?
Mm-hmm. And any other? Can you give us two more on the podium?
Yeah, I guess Malians would be my second at the moment. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny because they're sort of like House of Lancaster in the sense with the Manos and the cattle. But I just like that kind of booming style, and then you kind of just have like a lot of units that you could be aggressive with. So I put House of Lancaster, Maui, and then hmm, probably Mongols. I've been enjoying. I've been liking the fast imp gameplay. It's been
Oh
kind of
my
fun.
god, it's disgusting.
It's disgusting, yeah.
Do you think they would change it, or is it safe to say they are gonna stay where they are?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like they won't change it because it's been in the game for such a while and people haven't kind of been abusing it for long enough. But they could. I don't know. It is strong.
Well, it is a bit RNG, which I guess makes it fun as well, or I guess a bit annoying sometimes. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not doing well against them currently. And do you have one civ which you dislike the most? You hate
Oh
to
man.
play it, try
I
to
think
dodge it as much as you can.
that is interesting because I think hmm, probably Delhi. I guess like I really do not like playing against Delhi, especially certain players, Delhi in particular, that I won't name because then they know. But Yeah, I don't like the mass keeps and the turtle in their base, and then they go imp with like 10 elephants. I'm not a huge fan of playing against Dolly, that's for sure.
Fair enough, fair enough. Same. Last season was rough for me. You know, when you can just hear the elephants in the background, like you can't see them yet, but you can just hear the noises they make. Like I'm still traumatized from that.
Yeah, they make super loud elephant noises in the background. You hear them
Yeah,
coming?
and they just roll over your base, and that's it. So, in your opinion, do you think AoE4 currently is growing or dying, or
I
something
mean,
in
I think it's
between?
growing, but it really, I think, relies on consistent support from the developers at this point. Like, it is growing, but only because we are still getting patches, and we're gonna get another DLC, and we just got a DLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in that sense, I mean, it is growing. It is growing as long as we keep getting that.
Fair enough. I do like the community Age of Empires 4 has. I think we are really keeping the game alive.
Well, the community for sure. I mean, but we need that as well, and well, I guess they need us in that sense.
True, true. And what do you think about the current pool of maps, especially the new maps added in the DLC?
Actually, I think the new maps in the DLC are pretty good. I think the points of interest have done a good job of making some of them more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Generally, I mean, I play a lot of tournaments, so I'm not. I guess Carmel, Relic River, and Lightning Horizon, probably the most notable ones from the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
And Lightning Horizon, I think is pretty interesting. It offers a different gameplay. Relic River, I think could have some balance issues with the Dira, but I'm not. Overall, it's a nice aesthetically looking map
It's really pretty, isn't it? I always
It's
say that every
pretty,
time I
yeah.
have it. Oh, it's so pretty, but I do suck at it because I don't do hybrid maps very often.
Yeah. So I think the maps are good and they did a good job. But nothing too special for me. I don't focus on the maps too much.
Okay. Do you have like a favorite map, or you just go with whatever is going in the tournament?
Yeah, my favorite map is Dry Arabia. It's my favorite map.
Classic, the classical.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And a favorite unit in the game or type of units?
Hmm. It's a tough one actually. I think it'd probably be. Let me look at the civs.
Hmm.
I guess it's probably the knight. Like
Yeah.
I just love using the knight. I think its mobility is amazing. It has very good micro potential with the charge aspect and stuff like that. So I guess it's kind of a general pick, but I just really love using the knight, and I think it creates interesting games.
Hmm. And how nice with the extra damage upgrades. So nice, isn't
Yeah,
it?
the French knights for sure as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think French games in particular actually make fun games to watch and fun games to play because of that
Yeah,
knight actually.
I agree. I even would say that French mirrors are quite fun to watch. Normally mirrors are a
Yeah.
bit, but it's very micro intensive. And if
Yeah.
you could assemble a 4v4 dream team, who would you
Mm.
pick?
Well, Puppy Paw, I think,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. I think. Oh. Okay, Puppy Paw, Rui MT, and Anatan would be my dream team. I
Okay.
think we cover all the bases with that.
Yeah. Do you think you would destroy everyone?
Yeah, I think we destroy everyone. We got Rui MT for the walls, we got Puppy Paw for the aggression, we got Anatan for the. Oh, Anatan just does Anatan things, so.
Other times for the memes.
Yeah, for the memes.
Fair enough. And now I got something else for you. Tell me a Civ which you would like to buff, nerf, and delete from the game.
Okay, I guess I would like to buff KT.
Oh,
I
really?
think I mean, as long as you're not buffing the water aspect of KT.
Okay.
I think they're an interesting civ on land, but we don't see them enough because they're just too strong on water. And I do think that they are really fun. I think a lot of people enjoy them. I'm not sure about playing against them, but they're really fun and I enjoy playing them. So because of that, because they're not good enough on land, I'd like to see them buffed.
Okay.
Nerf-wise, Hmm. I'd like to see China nerf, to be honest. I think China is really, really strong, and they're a bit oppressive with the amount of options they have in the game. Especially with their tax. So, like, you can age up to age 3 by producing only units and mining 0 gold, just by tax. Um, so I would like to see China nerfed, particularly their tax and maybe their keeps or something. I'm not a
Okay.
big fan of those two aspects of China. And then remove from the game. Ooh. I guess I'm gonna go with my previous answer and say Delhi. I don't like Delhi. We can remove them from the game.
I agree. I think we should just do it. And now we have the quick questions. Boom or rush?
Boom. I usually boom.
1v1 or team games?
It's pretty tough. I like team games, but I'd say generally 1v1s are more enjoyable for me.
Okay. Infantry or cavalry units?
Yeah, Cav units for sure.
Land, hybrid, or water maps?
Actually, I do like hybrid, but I'm gonna say lands just because that's the pure Age of Empires gameplay for me.
Mm-hmm. Long or short games?
Uh, I like short games. I think short games are kind of interesting as long as I mean, I like long games too, but they can't be too long. So.
Okay, you're not a 1 hour game enjoyer.
Not a 1 hour game enjoyer. There might be some people out there, but not me.
Okay. Tournaments for fun or serious ones?
Hmm. I mean, I like for fun tournaments, but I'm gonna say for serious tournaments for the most part. Yeah.
Okay. Freelance or belonging to an organization?
I like the freedom and individual aspect of being freelance, but I wouldn't be against being part of an organization. I just think I don't like the pressure of
Mm-hmm.
it.
Makes sense. Coffee or energy drinks?
Actually, I like energy drinks better.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're more refreshing than coffee.
Okay. Pizza or steak?
Pizza.
Nice. Sweet or savory snacks?
Oh man, I have a really big sweet tooth, so sweet snacks like candy, like Skittles.
Nice. Going out partying or chill night at home?
Chill night at home playing Age of Empires. For
Sounds
sure.
good. All right, I think that's all I have prepared for you today. Um, Thank you so much again for answering and spending the time. It was great fun. I have just a final question for you, which you might expect. Who would you like to see next in an interview like this? And have you got one question you would like me to ask?
Yeah, I think I always like it when people interview Marine World because I know Puppy Paw very well, I know Anatan very well, I watch Beastie a lot, but Marine World I don't get to interact with as much because he speaks French.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to see you interview him next, and I do want you to like I would want you to ask him what he thinks of the siege rework from the previous year, because he doesn't really give his opinion on these things that much, and I know generally he just wants balance above everything, but I want his actual opinion on whether he thinks it was good enough for the game, because he won't tell me.
Okay, thanks for that. I will try my best. I did actually ask him already about interview, and he said that he will give me an interview if I learn to play Lancaster properly. So I
Oh
guess,
my god.
I guess that's on me. But I will try,
Wow.
and I will push him with your question for sure.
Okay. Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Thank you again. It was super, super fun. And I'm super grateful for your time for even agreeing to do this. It was great to get to know you a little bit. And definitely good luck in your future tournaments and especially the LAN. Hopefully you can win it.
Yes, I mean, thank you, of course. It's always, a pleasure to do anything with Age of Empires 4, the community in general, and yeah, I mean, it was a great interview. Lots of interesting questions.
Thank you.